Good. Hi. Welcome to my private home cinema. But it does actually remind me a lot of the time we made this, which was, I had to look it up, it's like 39 years ago, which is more than half my life, It was just at the point where we had just finished our first recording contract with the British company, and we'd been courted by a few other companies, but we were just on a sort of going from being sort of comfortable with ourselves into being sort of vastly uncomfortable, but enjoying it, because for the years before that we'd been a three-piece for a long time, and then this was what I've heard people call it the imperial cure, so I don't know about that. But what I do know is it was really, for me, it's like one of the best versions of the band, and I hope, and I know that comes across in this, because for us, we had just recorded some demos and stuff at I think Boris's house, if I remember correctly, and we had enough really for a triple album. We were going to do that, and then we thought, well, the only people I know that did the triple album was the LP, and that was kind of weird. Oh, the mic's come back on. Okay, so we did some festivals, we did some other gigs, and then we got to this place, which we had heard about, but it was much even more scary than climbing up those stairs, because backstage, there wasn't a backstage, there wasn't even a building, there was like planks across huge, abysses that you could fall into. So it was kind of scary. We did it over 2 nights. First night, all the French people came and moshed in the pit and stuff. And then the second night, we came with no audience and filmed it all again with close-ups and things. There's one difference you might notice if you look at it closely. After the first night, I had enjoyed it so much and thought it was I felt so great about it all. I had a few too many sherries, and I went for a walk along the seawall, because we were staying in a seaside town. And on this side of the seawall was about 2 foot to the ground, and on the other side of the seawall was about 6 foot. And it was pitch black. So I went for a walk along the wall and fell over the side, twisted my ankle. So we had to call a doctor at about 2 in the morning to the hotel, come and patch me up, put a lot of, whatever in the big. And I had this big bandage on my ankle that I couldn't take off, because otherwise, my ankle would flop everywhere. And if you look closely at the film, you'll see where the edits come. And you'll see my ankle goes. So, that's just a side thing that. But after this, what happened was we went to Miraval, and I don't know if you've seen any of Nick Cave's new album, and he did a lot of it at, well, now it's Brad Pitt's studio, but when we were there, it belonged to Jacques Lussier, the jazz pianist, and went to Miraval for 3 months, and after about two months there, Chris Parry, the Cure's manager and whatnot, came down to see us and said, I've hired a cinema in Nice, which is about an hour's drive away, to show you the rough cut of this film that we're going to see now. And when I got here this afternoon, this place is exactly like that. It was exactly that, but instead of having the whole place full, it was just the 5 of us sitting there, and Chris and Tim Pope. And it was a wonderful experience. After that, though, we went out on a boat, as I seem to remember, and sailed around the harbour for 3 hours, which was not a good idea that time in the morning. And then, it was like just a wonderful feeling. And then that little, I think it was probably a few months later, we arrived back in England, and we had the premiere of the movie in 70mm, which was kind of ludicrous, you know. And so we had, you know, it's very big and very sharp and everything. And Robert said, why don't we all go and sit at the front to watch our movie? Which is the strangest experience ever, because we're sitting about where you're sitting, suddenly seeing your head the size of a house, you know, is very disorienting. But enjoy it. I don't know how many of you have seen it before, but to me, you know, it's worth seeing again, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be here to take some questions afterwards.